Welcome to the ninth episode of Leadership and People Management series. In this episode, we are going to be looking at decision making. If you are a manager, a team leader, a supervisor, occupying any leadership position or any position in your organization, or maybe you are just an employee, that's also a leadership position because you have authority, you have responsibility over some things, and on a daily basis, you have to make certain decisions. The decisions that you make are not just a matter of responsibility, they are a matter of survival for the organization, for the business. Every business thrives on the decisions that are being made at all levels on daily basis. So in a day, there are decisions that are being made by the management. There are decisions that are being made by supervisors. There are decisions that are being made by employees. And those decisions at all levels, irrespective of, including the cleaners in that organization, all of these decisions forms the core, the operating system of the organization. So decision making is a very, very important part of organizational management. Because decision making is the process of selecting the best course of action from available alternatives. And every day, people have to select the best course of action from alternatives. Sometimes the alternatives are limited. Sometimes the alternatives are so many and so confusing. At the end of the day, you have to decide a course of action. There are three types of decision. Number one, we have routine decision. These are decisions that concerns daily tasks, daily activities. These type of decisions are made at all levels every day, depending on the responsibility and what we are trying to achieve. At all levels, we have to make routine decisions, and those decisions are critical, just as I have mentioned earlier. Then we have strategic decisions. Strategic decisions are long-term decisions that have long-term implication for the organization. These things may not come up every day, but then there are times when you have to make decisions that have long-term implication for the organization. Then lastly, you have what we call the emergency decisions. Emergency decisions are decisions that you make in unexpected situations, right? When accidents happen, you have to make a decision. And sometimes those decisions are made under pressure. So we call them emergency decisions. Emergency decisions could also have long-term implications for the business or for the overall objectives of the organization, which is why they are very, very sensitive. What are the processes that you should follow in order to come up with decision? Remember that we say that decision making is about choosing a course of action from available alternatives. Now, what are the processes that you should follow in order to be able to come up with a course of action from the alternatives that you have? Number one is to identify the problem. You have to identify the problem you are trying to solve and be very, very clear and be specific about it. Number two is gather information. This is how you identify your alternatives, by the way. So you have to gather the informations about the problem, what the problem happened, and does the organizations have rules of how those such decisions should be made or those problems should be handled. If the organizations already provided mechanisms and systems of how to resolve it, then you definitely have to choose from the options that are provided. If the organization doesn't have already laid down procedures of how those things should be handled, then of course you now have to come up with some other alternatives. Number four is evaluating options. So you have generated your alternative. The next step you need to take is to evaluate the options that you have and see the implications for each option and see the one that is more likely to deliver the result that you are looking for. Of course, number five is for you to select the best option. Number six is implementing the option that you have selected. And then number seven is evaluating the result that you are getting from the implementation. In all of this process of decision making, there are certain things you want to avoid. Number one, acting emotionally, right? Organizations are legal structures, they are corporate structures. They are not product of emotions. So you have to ensure that in your decision-making process, you minimize the role of your emotion. We are human beings. There is going to be some element of emotion in everything we do. The goal is to make sure that at every point in time, you are able to bring yourself to that point where you are deliberate about making sure that your judgment, your decisions are sound decisions and not emotional decisions. Number two is delaying decisions. Delay can be very, very catastrophic at times, depending on the circumstances or the situation at play. So you also want to make sure that you do not observe unnecessary delay. Next is ignoring evidence. If you want to make a decision and to be able to come up with a sound decision, you cannot run away from evidence. You have to, in fact, look for evidence. Then fourth is seeking perfection. What you want to do in every situation when you have to make a decision is to choose from the alternatives that are available to you from your due diligence that you have done and the information and facts and evidences that you have gathered. You are not looking to be perfect. It's not possible to make a perfect decision at all times. Of course, with mastery and with experience, you become better at it. But even the top expert does not make it the most perfect decision. So the focus shouldn't be on perfection, because sometimes when you are focused on perfection, you are going to observe unnecessary delays because you think that you are looking for the perfect solution, whereas there are no perfect solutions. Lastly is failing to consult. Consultation is very, very important. It is important that you consult both the IOPS, the stakeholders, everybody that is involved. Anybody that the solution you are coming up with is going to affect, or anybody that have been affected by the problem in the workplace needs to be consulted. Very, very important. Not everybody like everybody, but then there have to be some level of consultation. Remember, indecision is more costly than imperfect decision. So you want to embrace objectivity, courage, analytical thinking, accountability, and decisiveness in the process of your decision making. Thank you very much for watching this video. Drop your thoughts in the comment section and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.